It was supposed to be an ordinary afternoon. She had just finished work, stopping by the grocery store to pick up a few things for dinner. Nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary, just a quick errand before heading home. Her cart rolled down the aisle, the wheels squeaking slightly as she moved past shelves of cereal and canned soup. Her mind wasn't on anything special, just groceries, just life. And then she stopped. Near the exit of the store, her eyes landed on a bulletin board. It was cluttered with the usual things people post: ads for babysitters, flyers for garage sales, a couple of missing pet posters curling at the edges. Most people walked past without a glance, but one flyer caught her eye. She stepped closer. Her footsteps slowed. Her chest tightened, because staring back at her was her. A missing child poster. The face in the photo wasn't just familiar, it was identical. The same round cheeks, the same wide eyes, the same tiny scar above the eyebrow she had carried since before she could remember. She blinked hard, convinced her mind was playing tricks on her. But the more she looked, the worse it got. The birthday. Her birthday. The name. Her name. Her breath caught, trapped somewhere between disbelief and panic. Her hands trembled as they clutched the cart. The noise of the store seemed to fade into the background, muffled, distant, as if the entire world around her had suddenly gone silent. And then, under her breath, she whispered words that didn't even feel real as they left her lips. "That's me." It felt impossible. And yet, in that moment, the life she thought she knew, her family, her childhood, her identity, cracked apart like glass under pressure. Everything she thought she understood about herself was suddenly a lie. Growing up, she thought her life was perfectly ordinary. Her childhood was filled with the little moments every kid remembers: birthday cakes with too many candles, crayon drawings pinned to the fridge, scraped knees patched up with colorful band-aids. Her parents were always there, loving, protective, proud. They told her often how special she was, how lucky they were to have her. Because she was adopted. And for a long time, that answer was enough. Enough to explain the differences, enough to explain the gaps. But as she grew older, the questions began. What about my birth family? Where did I come from? Why was I given away? Every time, the answers felt practiced, short, distant. Her parents would change the subject or offer vague reassurances like, "It doesn't matter, you're ours now." But there were no hospital records, no baby pictures, no stories about the day she was born. Just silence. A silence so heavy, she eventually stopped asking. She trusted them. She believed them. She accepted the story she had been told, that she was simply adopted. But somewhere, deep down, something about her life never fully added up. Like there was a missing page in her story, a page someone had deliberately torn out. And what she didn't know was that the truth waiting for her was darker than anything she could have imagined. It started like any other afternoon. She was out shopping with friends, joking about snacks, tossing candy into the cart, debating which soda to buy. Just normal teenage things. But then, she noticed the corkboard near the exit. A clutter of flyers, most of them ignored, but her eyes locked onto one in particular. A missing child poster. At first, she couldn't explain why her stomach sunk. But then, her heart skipped a beat. The baby in the photo had her same eyes, her same birthday, her same scar. Her friends kept chatting, oblivious, but she stood frozen, her palms sweating, her chest tight. And then, barely audible, she whispered, "That's me." Her friends laughed, they waved it off as coincidence, Lots of babies look alike, they joked. But she couldn't laugh. She couldn't even move. Because she knew this wasn't coincidence. Her entire childhood, the birthday parties, the bedtime stories, the school photos suddenly felt like props on a stage. A performance hiding something darker. Because how do you explain seeing your own face on a missing child flyer? That single moment flipped her world upside down, and nothing would ever feel the same again. She couldn't sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, the poster reappeared. The photo, the scar, the birthday. At 2 a.m., she gave in. She opened her laptop. Her fingers shook as she typed her name. Nothing. So she tried the name on the poster, the date, the city. And there it was. Buried in old archives was a news story, a baby girl who vanished from a hospital nursery in the middle of the night. Parents who woke up to an empty bassinet, detectives with no leads, a community that searched desperately until the trail went cold. Her eyes scanned the article, her pulse pounding in her ears. And then, the photo. A baby wrapped in a hospital blanket. Tiny, wide eyes, a bandage above her eyebrow. It was her. Her breath caught. She leaned back, covering her mouth as a single thought screamed through her head. What if I wasn't adopted? What if I was stolen? Her mind raced back to the missing baby pictures, the vague answers, the way her parents tensed up whenever she mentioned her birth family. And suddenly, it all connected. She couldn't hold it inside any longer. So she confronted them, the people she had always called Mom and Dad. They were in the living room when she walked in, clutching her laptop. Her voice cracked when she asked, "Am I really your daughter?" At first, silence. Then denial. Her father laughed it off. Her mother forced a smile. "Of course you are, honey." But their voices trembled. Their eyes betrayed them. So she turned the laptop around. The missing child poster. Her baby picture. The scar, the birthday. The color drained from their faces. Her father stared at the floor. Her mother's lips trembled as tears welled in her eyes. And then she broke. Through sobs, she whispered the words that shattered everything. "We're so sorry. We never meant to hurt you, but you weren't adopted." Her voice cracked as she explained. There hadn't been a legal adoption. A woman had offered them a baby. No paperwork, no questions asked. Cash exchanged, and they said yes. They told themselves they were saving her, but deep down they always feared this day would come. And in that moment, everything collapsed. The people she trusted most weren't her parents at all. They were the reason her real family had been searching for decades. And suddenly, the house she had grown up in didn't feel like home anymore. It felt like a prison built on lies. Her story exploded. Local reporters covered it. National headlines followed. Investigators reopened the case. The family she never knew waited for the phone call they had been praying for. And finally, she reunited with her biological parents. The embrace was overwhelming. Laughter, tears, disbelief. For them, it was a miracle. For her, it felt like stepping into someone else's life. But healing doesn't come quickly. Because while she found the family she had been stolen from, she couldn't erase the family who had raised her. The ones who had read her bedtime stories. The ones who had kissed her goodnight. The ones who, despite everything, she still loved. She was caught between two families. The parents who never stopped searching, and the parents who never let her go. The truth had set her free, But it also left scars that would never fully fade. And at the heart of it all was the haunting image that started everything. That faded missing child poster on a grocery store corkboard. A piece of paper that unraveled decades of secrets, heartbreak, and stolen time. What would you do if you discovered your entire life was a lie?